Howdy.
Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live Stream. I did not cut off the intro music because Andy and Kentucky Rimfire were dancing, and y'all missed it. Anyway, 30 comments while that was going on. So welcome to Friday. Welcome to December. How was your week, Jailbird?
Well, as you can read, it was eventful. I was a bad boy, apparently. We don't need to go into that right now, but it wasn't warranted.
Oh, come on.
Got to the range one time. It was pretty cold. Got out deer hunting 3 times. So pretty good week. Got some pretty cold temperatures here right now. Today we didn't even hit 30 degrees today. I think it was 28, 26, something like that for a high. And tomorrow's supposed to be about the same. So it's going to be a cold weekend. We're going to have rain by Monday. I don't know where it's coming from, but. What about you, American Hillbilly? How was your week?
Oh man, pretty good. We had some cool weather, no doubt, but we had some days that wasn't so windy, so that sure helped out a bunch, But yeah, I had a good week. Yep, just been trying to cut and split some more wood for the winter. That's about it. Chad, what you been up to, buddy?
Freezing.
It ain't no warmer up there in the bucket by them poles.
No, I've been on a ridge top in a pretty high elevation this week, and the guys that were working down low, they was like, "Oh, it's wet and nasty down here," and I was like, "Well, it's frozen, snowing up here." So, yeah, I've been in the cold all week, and then stupid me, I got out this morning and was making videos in 25-degree weather. So. But all in all, good week. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Very good. Glad you're here. What about you, Six? How was your week?
I was muted.
Good week. It was another week of working. Same old. So other than that, got a bunch of bullets loaded after work. So that's about all I done.
I got to do that too. I need a bunch of 38s. I'm gonna cast up a bunch of those bullets you had. Those Lee 125 358.
Yeah.
Good one. It's a good bullet.
Mr. Gene, how was your week?
Oh, busy at work. Busy, man. Priming brass, sorting brass, unloading brass, primers. We got some new primers in this week. It's supposed to be super soft. So I'll talk about them during What's Hot Pot Got. Just been keeping busy, man. Black Friday has been crazy on my front porch. Oh, my goodness. Stuff's still rolling in. So once I get everything, I'll do up my Black Friday haul video. And I did get a couple really nice things. That's all I got. Just glad to be here. Thanks for having me on another wonderful Friday night with the Georgia Shooting Connection. Yes.
Amen.
All right, but what about you, Andy?
I hope you're going to do a video about all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do a Black Friday haul video, show everything on there. Like I said, I got a couple really nice things. Really good deals on them, too. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, be careful. We don't want to get you accused of selling stuff.
Oh, I'm not selling. I'm a buyer.
Right. Yeah, that's. I think it's important for us to say we show our stuff and talk about some of our stuff, but our stuff is our stuff. And you can't have it. You can go order it, but
Well, you maybe have it.
we're not selling it. Right?
Right.
All right. Good deal. Mr. Zink, Dr. Zink. I had the toughest time getting him a link tonight, guys. I sent him a link 3 times, and finally, Gene and CW were able to get him a link. We're glad to have you on with us, Zink. How was your week?
Good to be here. Very, very, very busy as usual. We thought it was going to get a little easier at work during Christmas. We got a separate UPS truck delivered to us today, 147 boxes. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, I'm not the receiving guy, like, checking in the boxes. I check in what's in the boxes from the customer, counting them, pictures. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Good week. Did a lot of casting. Zinc is really coming out really great. Like, getting so much zinc being sent to me all out of nowhere. Everybody wants the tin. People I never even heard of before. So they're obviously seeing that video. I bought some new molds. I decided I wanted to get a backup of that. What do they call that mold? 1 second. The Ideal 358432 Type 3 wad cutter, because I only have 1 2-cavity mold, and zinc over time will take its toll on the mold. Although I probably have about 10,000 casted through it already, so it's holding up well. But anyway, I found another 2-cavity mold. Had the guy measure the size of the cavity. It should be the same, the 158 grainer. And then I found the same night a 4-cavity version of that mold. The guy doesn't know anything about it, and I tried to get him to take a measurement. He said, if it's not what you want, I'll take it back. So I got a 4-cavity 358432, $80. The pictures look pretty damn good. So we'll see what happens. Both of them will probably be here Monday. So that's my exciting. Oh, and I cleaned up a couple of molds that I finished casting with for now. Vinegar works great at taking surface rust off. And that's about it.
Very good. Thanks for being here. Sorry you had trouble getting emails tonight. We'll do better next week.
Not a big deal.
Mark Thomas, how was your week, buddy?
I had a really good week. It was the beginning of Pennsylvania's deer rifle season, and I did get out one day, but been cold and weird weather. It was back to school after the break and getting back into the groove of things, but we had a really good week. Other than some electrical issues, we had the power going off a bunch of times yesterday from all the wind. But all that was made up for last night. Went to watch my son's first wrestling match, and he was a winner. So that was a peak of the week.
Good deal.
What
weight class does he wrestle?
138. And he was just a shade under that, and the other fellow was right on. So he had a good match, but he's deceptively strong, and he kind of threw the guy around a little bit.
Good to hear.
Yep.
Good deal.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to a nice evening. Happy Friday, everybody.
Thanks for being here. Mr. Rebel, how was your week?
My week was interesting. Today I saw a coyote running around in circles in a field at about 50-yard circles. A healthy coyote, not foaming at the mouth, not weird, not nothing. He was just looking really confused. And I almost stopped, and if I hadn't been on a major highway, I would have stopped and ended his confusion. But I don't know what his deal was. Don't know if there was a dead deer in the field hit by traffic or what, but he was prancing around that field like
I'm like, what are you doing, jackass? It was about a mile below the shop. Been a lot of good deer killed. I encourage everybody to, if they got time, to Google or Facebook, Harkey's Taxidermy in Vale, North Carolina, and you can see a good friend of mine killed a 160 something mainframe 10 or 12 with a drop tine, and then of course I sent Jamie the Lincoln Legend, which that was an ugly buck, but he was big. But there's been a couple of 150s killed here too, so it's wide open. And I got a 1894 in the shop and 44 Magnum, stainless steel, pretty gun.
Oh my goodness!
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you sold any guns this week.
Several.
Okay, it's okay for him to sell guns. He owns a gun shop. That's what he does for.
Yeah, YouTube. I have an FFL.
We're not selling them here. We're not selling them here. They're not.
No, I sell them in person.
When you have to do a background check and fill out a lot of federal paperwork and all that stuff, which is how you buy guns.
Unfortunately.
So tonight, I guess we want to jump right into our topic. We want to talk about Frank Hamer, and I think y'all would know him primarily as the guy who bushwhacked Bonnie and Clyde, but he is a very respected and controversial law enforcement officer from the great state of Texas, and
quite a history, quite a story. We were viewing some of the videos, and he was in something over 50 shootouts. He was shot 6 or 7 times or 9 times, Jamie?
17,
and he was left for dead 3 times.
4 times.
Yeah, one of them when he was a kid.
Yeah. His first shootout was
he was shot in the back with a shotgun, shot in the side with a back with a shotgun.
Yeah, but as soon as he recovered from that, he went to the guy's house that shot him and called him out, and they had a gunfight right there in his front yard, and he killed the guy.
Yeah, he settled his bacon right there.
The way he said he needed to settle accounts with that feller. Does anybody remember the story of what started all that?
He was asked to kill somebody, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
He was a known good shot.
He was offered $150 to kill somebody.
And when he turned it down, he was too much of a liability. So,
yeah.
But he shot his brother too in that incident, didn't he?
Not that I know of.
I can't remember.
Let's get we'll be going on and off to Frank Hamer repeatedly over the course of the evening, but start with his early years. Frank Hamer, Francis Augustus Hamer, was born March 17th, 1884, and died July 10th, 1955. He was an American lawman and Texas Ranger who led the 1934 posse that tracked down and killed criminals Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow. Renowned for his toughness, marksmanship, and investigative skills, he acquired status in the Southwest as the archetypical Texas Ranger. He was introduced and inducted into the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame. His professional record and reputation are controversial, particular with regard to his willingness to use extrajudicial killing, even in an increasingly modernized society. Hamer has been described by biographer John Bossennecker as one of the greatest American lawmen of the 20th century. And his dad owned a blacksmith shop when he grew up, and they were devoutly Presbyterian. He was one of 5 sons, 4 of whom became Texas Rangers. Grew up on the Welch Ranch in San Saba County. Am I saying that right? 6. San Saba County.
That's good enough.
San Saba.
San Saba. Okay. Later spent time in Oxford, Llano County, which is now a ghost town. And he later joked of being the only Oxford educated ranger. Although his formal education ended at the 6th grade, as a youth, Hamer displayed several unusual abilities, including an extremely high level of intelligence and almost a photographic memory. He excelled at mathematics and developed a deep interest in history, particularly that of the Texas Rangers and the region's Native American tribes, such as the Comanche, Kiowa, and Kiowa Apache. Hamer worked in his father's shop as a youth as a wrangler and on a local ranch. Began his law enforcement career in 1905 while working on the Carr Ranch in West Texas when he captured a horse thief. Local sheriff was so impressed that he recommended that Hamer join the Rangers, which he did the following year. He was at home on the open Texas prairie and understood the signs and patterns of nature. He interpreted men in terms of animal characteristics. The criminal is a coyote, always taking a look over his shoulder, he's quoted. So, my understanding of the story of this killing when he was 16 was that he was approached by the guy that him and his brother were working for, and was offered $150 to kill a ranger, and then he said he'd think about it, and he decided he wasn't going to do it. Then the ranger, the rancher, had him killed by somebody else, I think, and then he got to thinking that Frank knew too much about that situation, so he shot him in the back with a shotgun. Shot him in the back, a 16-year-old kid, a brave man, right? And so he took Frank several weeks and months to recuperate, and after he recuperated, he went over there and called the guy out, and the rancher went for his gun. Frank drew his first. Another thing, Frank Hamer was, in his younger days, studied wildlife and wildlife patterns, and he applied what he learned to that when he went to track down a criminal or a human. I had a video queued up, but last time we showed a video, we got a copyright strike. So, and copyright strikes are not like a strike like what CW's got from just bad judgment. But copyright means that basically all copyright means is that you can't make any money because you played this video or or excerpts from it. But there's a guy called how many of y'all are familiar with a guy on YouTube called Ammo Mart? Is the name of his channel.
Yeah.
This is a link to his video. It's a brief history of Frank Hamer by Auto Mart. And I might, if y'all are more interested in that kind of thing, I might approach him and see if he'd like to come on with us, if we can get him, or if he'll even answer me. Somebody with a little more pull might have more success. He's not a huge channel, but he's not a small channel like we are. But there's Kyle Lusk out there. So, but yeah, if y'all after the show, if y'all want to go check this out, I think you'll find it a very interesting thing. Ammo Mart has several videos about old West or Western folks that he finds interesting. He's got one on Tom Horn too, who I find a particularly interesting individual. Y'all know the story of Tom Horn.
Mm-hmm.
A great movie. Also, the movie Highwaymen.
Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. Yep, it's a great movie.
I have not seen it yet, but I intend to watch that over the break.
It will make you wish gun stores were still like that, because Frank Hamer walks in a gun store and said, "I'll take 2 of these and 5 of those and 6 of those," and walks out like that. No paperwork.
All it took was money. There's Walter out there in the side chat.
Mr. California Casanova.
And there's my brother, Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog from way down there in Louisiana territory.
Hello, Chuck.
Evening, sir.
Anything anybody else wants to say about Frank Hamer 6? I bet you got some stories. Mark?
No, not really.
I know that he set up that ambush on Bonnie and Clyde. Like, that was classic. It was perfect. It was perfect. And he took no mercy. He said, you know, this is going to be one of those things to where we're going to go down in history for killing a woman. And that wasn't no big thing, but he said that wasn't no little thing. He said, these are rabid dog killers. We got to take them down. And they did with extreme prejudice.
He fired the first shot with a 35 Remington and hit Clyde in the head.
Mm-hmm. And then how many other shots were fired?
At least 150.
That looked like Swiss cheese, man. What's the little automatic Winchester that they had on that deal? I've sold 2 of them. I can't remember.
1907, 1905?
I think so, yes, CW.
Yeah. One's a 435, one's a 401.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they also use 1918s?
Yes.
I believe, what was those chambered in, 30-06?
What? Heck, Frank had a Colt Monitor.
Yeah.
Yep.
He had a little bit of everything.
I think Frank used Remington Model 8 chambered in 35 Remington.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a weird gun. It's like it's the rifle version of an A5, if you know how those.
Well, those are the guns I've sold, Jamie, and I've sold 2 of them, and they're just like an A5. They're bad to crack the stock because the recoil's very severe.
With an AK safety.
Yeah, the weird gun, man.
Yeah.
Actually, the AK stole their safety from that gun.
Yeah, shrouded barrel. Pretty
Well,
cool.
the AK was actually, I did homework on that. It was actually designed by a German gunsmith who was given accommodations during this time period um, for his design inputs. You know, held against his will.
Yeah. And the AK definitely isn't over-engineered like a German would do, like the Sturmgewehr or anything.
I forget the guy's name, but I think he was either a third or a sixth generation gunsmith from Germany. I believe it was a third. And you know, the old Russian K guy, he took credit for the whole thing, and he had nothing to do with it. Try to tell an AK guy that though.
Oh my God.
Boom.
There's Abigail out there. We're going to call out the side chat now.
Hey, Abby.
There's Lead Mining 44. Welcome. And R4 Mississippi Thunder.
Hillbilly might be on to something there.
Let's put this up for a minute. I saw today, I got an email and most of y'all probably already know this. I'm always the last one to the party. Ruger put out their PCC in 10 millimeter.
Yep. I seen one at the local gun stop.
Yeah, it's just under 8 bills, I think. 8 beans.
My boss's gun store, they got one in stock. He offered to give it to me for, you know, a really good price, but I'm like, really not looking for one right now, but probably later.
Yeah.
You know, if I get a 10 millimeter, that means a whole new brass bin, more dies. Jesus, I just, you know, help me. I got a sickness. I just don't need any more dies.
Ruger got my attention twice this week with a LCR two-tone in 32 H&R mag and a Lipsy special flat top 41 Magnum.
That 41 Magnum's pretty. It's
beautiful
pretty.
Guns.
Classic Firearms is a bad place to go on Black Friday. Just
all right,
spam the emails, look at them.
Yeah, they got some good stuff right now. What should we type in? Maybe Frank? Is that good?
That worked for me.
Everybody can spell Frank, right?
C, B.
Rebel, you need to adjust your camera, man.
Oh,
looks like Kilroy.
Yeah.
Either that or lean up.
Is that better?
Yeah, man.
I don't want to lean up.
We were looking at your porch light.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, so reloading from the hot pots first in. He's on the panel and in the side chat. So is CW Longshot. So is Andy79Z28. There's Alaska 1 Andy, Glenn Davis, Tim S. G23, what's up, buddy? There's Daniel God is my judge. R4 Mississippi Thunder Outdoors. Walks Fletcher. Fuku YT. Edward Petty, Tactical Fud, Bobby Barlow, 6-Shooter Texans also on the panel. Dale Pogue, Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog. And remind me to come back to that. Gizzard Gary, James Pollard's out there. We got Abigail Finnegan's out there, Paul Loud, M. Gabriel, R4, Mississippi Thunder, G23, Go Dogs, Garage Guy, Old One Guy. My buddy Mock, MCK, is out there. Fuku YT again. Terry's reloading. Let's see. I'm losing my place here. Mr. Pollard's out there. James Pollard's has joined us tonight. Dwayne 7834. Tommy Boy, Frankenstein. Hillbilly Up is on the panel and in the side chat. Rollis Carvelis, the gun genius. Welcome in. Daniel God is my judge. Frankly, CZ rules. Yeah. Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies is also on the panel. And Bama Dad, welcome in, buddy. We got Viejo is out there. Papa's Place is out there. G23 again. Mike Hester. That guy is on the panel also. Mr. Bob's out there. One of my mom's favorite movie lines. Put that up there. Ron 2A Matters is joining us this evening. And I think that's all. Artax out there. Thorzax. I know better than that. Thorzax. Thorzax calls himself the Ruger hater. Okay, so back to Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog. The what made me think of him is this what's the best way to execution ambush? Yeah, the ambush.
Legal execution.
Yeah, back then it was in Louisiana, out in a very rural place. I've actually been to the place, and we saw that we were coming back from a mission trip, and I saw the historic marker on the side of the road, and I stopped the van. I was driving. I stopped the van and got out and read the historic marker. So I've been at the spot where that happened. So Glenn Davis, I think all of the powder coating companies make a clear coat.
You just won't be able to tell if it's on good or not.
Maybe you can.
They're usually shiny.
I have some over there that
I get a big kick out of how many people say how well it coats. I said, how do you know?
That was my point, CW. How do you know?
It's like the thermos bottle. You know, it keeps hot things hot and cold things cold. But how does it know?
yeah, it's a white powder till it bakes. GGW depends on the color of clear. How many colors of clear are they? How many shades of clear are they?
48. I don't know.
Unlimited, man. The math on that was astronomical.
Yeah.
50,
Yeah.
50
Y'all are
shades of clear.
Y'all are too funny.
Jamie, the best I can remember about the movie Highwaymen is Hamer had caught some flack from the Louisiana or Texas governor, and he was kind of on the outs until they called him back for and they might have over dramatized that in the movie, but I read it in his biography too. His tactics that were out of time. Let's put it that way. Kind of like Rooster Cogburn, you know.
Yeah, but the time he was born in 1880, whatever it was, let me go back and look at that.
1884. That was appropriate, you know.
Right. But when you get into the 1900s, especially up into the 1930s, you think, let me show y'all a picture of him. You think by then we've settled into a certain amount of,
Civil obedience.
yeah.
The 1920s were wild, man.
I forget how old. I think that picture was taken in 1922.
Well, 1920s and 1930s were not that far removed from World War One, and some of those fellas saw some savage stuff.
Yeah, World War One was atrocious.
From what I derived from the biography, Hamer was not a guy you wanted to just walk up and slap him in the head or anything like that. He'd settle your hash pretty quick.
So he started his law enforcement career in 1905. So he would have been 16 in 1900. So he'd have been 21.
Yeah.
And he see the Texas Rangers, from what I can figure, and y'all chime in here too, guys. The Texas Rangers were a different kind of outfit in those days than what we would think of in the mid 1800s, like say after the Civil War in Texas. And I think Six would be the one that'd be telling us more of this. But it seems to me like the Texas Rangers became, in the early 1900s, more of a security for hire kind of place. Like if you had almost like Secret Service is now.
Their motto back then was one riot, one ranger. That's how tough they were.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit like the Pinkertons too.
But not quite as dirty. The Pinkertons got a little, they overstepped at several places.
Yeah.
What was that? When Campbell said on that John Wayne movie, Texas Rangers drink out of a boot print mud hole and be happy to have it, or whatever.
Oh my God! If I'd ever heard a Texas brush popper that it didn't drink out of a hoof print, isn't that what John said?
Yeah,
Something like that.
Texas brush popper. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was a great movie. It reminds me of something I
Yes.
heard in an interview with Glenn
Yes.
Campbell. Glenn Campbell was one of my musical heroes. He's absolutely fabulous guitar player and singer. Anyway, he says that he finds it somewhat concerning that the only movie John Wayne ever won an Oscar for was the one he co-starred in it with him. And it wasn't that he was that good. I mean, he was the same as he is in all of his cowboy movies. And Glenn Campbell says just him next to my acting, he won the Oscar hands down.
Listen, I always said that in that movie, Kim Darby was horrible and Glenn Campbell was almost worse. But John Wayne was great, you know. So it made it one of my favorite lines out of the whole movie. And I did this to a woman that brought in a big gun for me to assess that was her father's, and she said, "Can I bring a gun in to the shop?" And I said, "Sure, just make sure it's unloaded." And she brings in this big gun. I can't remember what it was. It was a big Smith or a big Ruger. And I hollered out, "By God, girl, that's a Colt's Dragoon." Like that. And her eyes got real big. I was like, "Honey, I was just quoting a movie. It's no big deal."
Well, being fortunate enough here in Branson, Missouri, we have several like movie theaters, or I mean, music, theaters where a lot of music singers come and stuff. And I was fortunate enough to go see one of Glenn Campbell's last live performances there, and his whole last song, he was playing clips from that movie. Said this is some of the best times I've ever had, and they had a big screen, behind him, and while he was singing, they were playing the clips from that movie.
Well, I bought the book, True Grit. I read it it's a small book. It's not a hard read. Very entertaining. I read it like 19 times. Like I've said before, a lot of people balk at it, but the later version of True Grit was actually truer to the book. Kim Darby's character lost an arm to the rattlesnake. And even though Rooster did the heroic horse ride and carry and killed a horse doing it, but just a great book, just a great book.
In the movie, he killed 2 horses. The one
Yeah.
he was riding got shot out from under him, and then the one he was able to catch for them 2 to ride back to town, he rode it to death.
Well, and Matt Damon plays Glenn Campbell's character, and even though he gets hit in the head with a rock, he does not die, or at least you don't see him die. He actually shoots Lucky Ned Pepper and makes a good long shot with that sharps. But the characters in the newer movie are dirtier, they're nastier, they're more true to life. It's kind of like, it's really, I thought Jeff Bridges did a good job, and I know he was falling into big footsteps, there, but he played a different type of rooster. He was still tough, and he was still drunk most of the time. And he did a lot of mean stuff, great stuff drunk, shooting corn dodgers out of the air. If you can do that drunk, you're a proficient pistolero,
All right, let's go through the panel quickly since we got off on this subject. What's your favorite John Wayne movie? And let's start with Dr. Zink. We haven't heard from him much this evening.
Yeah, I haven't saying much. I like a lot of his movies. I guess, what is it, Sandy Hiroshima?
Yeah, that's a good one. Different kind of movie.
He gets killed in that one, though.
There's only a couple that he does get killed in.
Yeah, Cowboys, San Iwo
Cowboys,
Jima.
yeah.
And there's one where he's a diver.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he's a
Frogman.
I'm not sure what the name of it is. Somebody will tell us. The Cowboys he gets killed in. Daniel got that one. Daniel says Cowboys.
Wake of the Red Witch or something like that.
Yeah, he's
He was a deep sea diver.
yeah.
Well, there were two movies made 30 years apart that were the absolute same, and I loved them both. And that's Rio Bravo and
El Dorado.
El Dorado. Yep.
Yeah.
I think my favorite would have to be Sons of Katie Elder.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
It's easier to name ones you don't like, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It always bothered me in Big Jake that after the dog and his best buddy, the Indian, get killed, he just walks away. You know, it kind of bothered me. I was like, well,
He
guess-
walked away carrying his grandson. So,
I kind of, that's how I justified it.
Yeah, it was a worthwhile trade, although it was a stiff one.
Yeah, that's right. I always liked the way he looked at that big guy. I said, all right, fatty, get out here. The guy with a machete.
Yeah.
Mark, what's your favorite? You got one?
Well, I was going to say El Dorado, but I guess I'll switch over to Hondo.
Another good one. Louis L'Amour book, as a matter of fact.
Go ahead, Rebel. What's your favorite? Pick one.
Like I said, El Dorado probably. I like El Dorado.
Kentucky Rimfire?
True Grit.
That's a hard one to beat, buddy.
It is.
Tommy Boy says he dies in the Green Berets, too. So that's 4.
The Shootist.
Yeah, he dies in the Shootist. But he was dying anyway in the Shootist.
Yeah, what a way to go.
No, he doesn't die in the Green Berets, Tommy. He does not die in the Green Berets, I don't think. No, that was another guy got caught in that trap. He makes it out of the Green Berets.
6, what's your favorite John Wayne movie?
That's hard to say. You know, I got like 100 of his movies in my collection. So I like watching Angel and the Bad Man and The Quiet Man the most.
The Quiet Man, wasn't The Quiet Man where he was a boxer?
Yeah, when they filmed it in Ireland.
Yeah.
You want a list of all the movies he died in?
Oh, God, he's done Googled them. Andy's done Googled them.
Andy's got Google Foo.
I'm just looking. I didn't even think about some of the movies.
Well, can we get through these before you name some of them? Everybody's favorite.
Yeah, I want to hear this, but let everybody have their chance. Go ahead, Gene.
Man, I always liked Rooster Cogburn.
Yeah.
You know, came
That's
after
hard
True
to
Grit.
beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's I always just thought, to me, that was just a good side of John Wayne's acting, cowboy acting. You know, for me.
Yeah. He's best when he's carrying that yellow-handled, short-barreled single-action army.
When wasn't he?
And drinking.
And drinking.
Hillbilly.
Well, of course, so many's been named that I was already going to choose. But I want the one in here that I really loved. It may not have been my favorite, way up there. Who Shot Liberty Bell?
Oh, man, that's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That is a great movie.
Yep.
Jailbird, what you got?
Well, like I said, it's akin to naming your favorite child. You know, they're all good. I have a hard time, but if I really had to, it would be a strong toss up between the Shootist and the Quiet Man. Those are my two favorites.
My wife's favorite, if she counts here, is McClintock. She loves McClintock.
Well, that's what Dale Pogue said. Nobody had said that. I was going to pounce that on y'all at the end.
Yeah, she loves McClintock.
What's the redhead's name? Was that
Maureen O'Hara.
Rita, yeah,
Maureen
Maureen O'Hara.
O'Hara.
Them two played great together.
She played in Big Jake too.
Yeah.
She played in a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
Which Big Jake, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it is. All right. Andy, you got a list of the ones he died in?
Yeah, it's the Alamo.
Yeah.
Ah, darn, I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
We said the Cowboys. We said the Fighting CBs. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. There's one I don't even know. Reap the Wild Wind.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that one, but Sands of Iwo Jima, The Shooters, and then there's another one I don't know. Wake of the Red Witch.
Yep.
That's the one we were talking about. That
Where he's a diver. Yeah.
deep sea diver.
Diver and a giant squid eats him.
Yeah.
Nice. That sucker died. That sucker died a horrible death. He died of indigestion. The Duke cannot be digested.
Well, that's 8 movies he's died in.
Well, for any of y'all that imbibe, and I'm not promoting any kind of alcoholic distillate here, but his brand of bourbon, I discovered about 10 years ago, and it's rarely found. But you can get a fifth of Duke whiskey with John Wayne's signature on it. And I'm telling you, it's sipping whiskey. It's not guzzling whiskey. You pour about that much in a glass and put an ice cube in it, and that's it. It's good. It's really good.
So we gotta get through the. Oh my
That's it.
goodness!
There you go. I got a bottle in the damn house. Yeah. That's it.
Still got steel on it.
What's the proof on that?
That's a shame. Sticks.
Well, I'm not a big whiskey drinker, and this was given to me from a fellow cowboy action shooter that passed away.
Mm.
Yes, that seal will probably never be broken. So we got the Hellfighters, G23 brought that one up. He put Hellfire, and Walks put the right name in it. Walks Fletcher says Maureen O'Hara co-starred in 5 movies with John Wayne. G23's favorite is Rooster Cogburn. Walter says that Maureen O'Hara was in The Quiet Man too.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody said The Searchers.
The Searchers, yeah.
That was a good one.
Searchers is a good one. Walt's favorite, Tall in the Saddle. There's another one, In Harm's Way, Edward Petty.
Yeah.
What song was created from the Searchers?
I don't know.
Buddy Holly. That'll be the day.
I did not know that.
He
That's a
came
good
out.
bit.
He came out of the movies from watching John Wayne and went and wrote that song.
That's a good bit of trivia.
Yeah, that is good. Daniel God is my judge. The Searchers. Tommy Boy mentions the Green Berets.
How many movies did he play with Roy Rogers?
I don't know.
Just one.
Yeah.
Dark Command, which is one of the worst movies that I don't like. I mean, it's a good movie, but I don't like it as far as accuracy because it's a pre-Civil War movie, but they're using 1873 Colts.
Yeah. There you go. Accuracy was not their thing. And we're talking about a real life shootist, and of course we got on John Wayne. That's perfect. But what always kind of killed me, I find, I'm like Tex, I find movie gun bloopers everywhere, and but my generation grew up. I was a Clint Eastwood man. I mean, I was born in 1965. Then I grew up with spaghetti westerns and rediscovered John Wayne on Sunday matinee. And even old Clint couldn't stand up to John. But Clint was a bad dude. Now he was a bad dude. Ain't no doubt about it.
Yellow hair.
Yeah, yellow hair. Yaller hair. Say it right, Jake.
Mr. Bob says that's bold talk for a one-eyed fat
man.
And
fill your hands, you son of a bitch. Here you go.
Yeah, McClintock was the one. He said that'll be the day a lot. And Big Jake, they kept saying, they kept asking, "Do you understand me?" And I'd say, "I understand."
Yeah, Richard Boone was the bad guy in Big Jake, and he played a great bad guy,
part, didn't he? Oh,
God,
I'm just an engine. I'm just a little engine.
Yeah, I like when John Wayne offers him a peach. He's offered him. He opened up a can of peaches, and he says, "No, they always hurt my teeth." Just a little banter like that. It was funny,
I don't remember seeing anybody naming these, but these were, I believe that there were earlier ones, but ones that I remember that I liked. Stagecoach, and she wore yellow rose or yellow ribbon or yellow rose. What was it?
Yellow ribbon.
Yeah, and those were good ones. Those are earlier ones, but they still were ones that I enjoyed.
The reason I never liked earlier westerns is because they never loaded their gun, and they always threw the bullet. So,
you got to throw it.
Pow! It gave it an extra 27 feet per second.
I love when they're riding horses and they put it in fast motion.
Yeah.
The Stagecoach is the one that pulled him out of the B westerns.
Yeah, was that a Howard Hawk? Howard Hawk kind of sort of made John Wayne, didn't he?
Yeah.
On the big screen, is what I mean. I mean it.
Dale Pogue says Stagecoach. Yeah, that was a big deal when it came out. I mean, it was a star-studded cast for the time. That'll Be the Day was from the Searchers. The Trinity movies were the great spaghetti westerns. That trilogy.
See, I can't stand those spaghetti westerns.
I love all those Trinity movies. I'm with you.
Well, Trinity was pow, and pow. He'd slap you and then pull his gun out. But yeah, those were a little goofy. The Clint Eastwood ones were not as goofy as Trinity was sort of slapstick.
Yeah. I guess one of the things that bothers me on those movies is the daggum music is just too loud to me.
Yeah, it's horrible. Sergio Leone
is
the director of a lot of those, and if you ever watched what's the one? Good Lord, I'm having a brain fart. What was the one with him and Tuco and
The Bad and the Ugly?
Yeah, and the camera zooming in on their faces and getting down to the bead of sweat below their eye, and
Once Upon a Time in the West was a good one for that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Gene?
Hey, Walt Fletcher's got a good one there. Yakima Canuck.
Yep, that's another one.
I'm trying to figure out what that movie was where he was a detective and he went to London to get somebody.
Oh, Braddock? No, not Braddock.
I think that's
That's what I was going to say. Braddock.
Yeah.
Those were actually pretty good movies. They don't get shown a lot. Yeah.
Brannigan.
Brannigan. Yeah, Brannigan. That's close.
Comancheros was another one.
Oh, yes.
Gene, are you there?
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Oh, yeah.
I hear him getting his pot ready.
It's time for What's Hot Pot Got?
Hot Pot's got something tonight to go with the main topic of the conversation. I can get it to focus in, and it sucks. Never works.
Yeah, it's
There we
reflecting
go.
your backdrop on it.
That's you had it. You got hold it right there.
Whoop, whoop. All right, what this is the venerable 45 ACP to go with the topic tonight, because this was the most found cartridge in Bonnie and Clyde's car for their weaponry, as per what I read on this.
Mm-hmm.
That does look pretty cool with that background coming through there. Nice little reflecting. But
Looks like a
45 ACP cartridge was designed by John Browning, as we all know. Designed in 1904 and produced in 1905 to present day. Its variants are the 45 ACP Plus P, 45 Auto Rim, 45 Super, and 460 Roland. Bullet mass type most commonly used on the 45 ACP is from a 230 grain to a 185, 165, down to a 90 grain. The standard issue military 45 ACP round uses a 230 grain round nose bullet at approximately 830 feet per second, fired from the government issued M1911A1 pistol. It operates at a relatively low maximum pressure compared to the 9mm and the 40 Smith & Wesson. Just for the occasion, I wanted to show what everybody loves, the 45 ACP.
Yeehaw.
I got a couple things chambered in that, and I really do enjoy shooting it. I really do. So that is what I got for that little thing right there. Next, with Republic Ammunition, we just got in some White River primers that are unplated, so they're not as hard. I've got 200 of them to test out. I'm going to take them out Sunday and shoot them, do a little video on the testing of them, introduce them. They're running roughly about 5 cents a piece, and they are a very good primer. They're very comparable to CCI dimensions. I loaded up 200 rounds today, and they seated excellent. I had no problems. They are a little bit taller, so you're not going to overseat them and lose any firing pin or striker action on them, which is why they've come up with these unplated primers now. And I want to thank everybody out there that ordered from us. We were putting out up to 3 pallets a day, 4x4 pallets at 5 feet to 6 feet tall of boxes. My boss and his wife worked all through Thanksgiving packaging stuff just to have it be able to be shipped out on the next pickup day. So I want to thank everybody for that. Because of that, I got a nice Christmas bonus out of it. So I definitely want to thank everybody who has purchased from Republic Ammunition. It helps make my day. But that is what Hot Spots got.
Very cool. Thank you, Gene.
Pew, pew.
Okay. Del Pogue says the War Wagon. That was with Dean Martin, I think, wasn't it? That's a good movie. GGW asks, is Brannigan the one where he gets the Mac 10 and tries it out in the basement? I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Hillbilly Up says John Wayne even played a Chinese sea captain in Blood Alley.
He played Genghis Khan too.
Yeah,
he-
Genghis
uh,
Khan.
he,
That's one of the roles he hated.
Yeah.
He played. He was one of the guards at Christ crucifixion in, what was the name of that movie? Golly, I'll never remember the name of that. Anyway,
Well, you know, at least he wasn't stereotyped into just one character. You know, he
yes,
was a
he
very
was. Gene, he was not an actor, brother. He was a character. He played the same guy in every movie he was ever in.
Yeah, but they put him in different movies with different subject matter outside of westerns.
But he was still the same guy.
Yeah,
Even when he was Genghis Khan, he said, "Fill your hand." Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Hey,
I
guys,
heard that Bruce Dern, who was the bad guy on the Cowboys, who is continuously through his life, I think Bruce passed away, but I think continuously through his life probably played the best bad guys known to man. He was just such a nasty character, and but he said John was so upset that he was getting killed in the Cowboys that scene where he throws Bruce Dern up next to a tree, he broke 2 of his ribs in real life. I mean, honest to God, he was mad about that. I've rewatched that movie. Bruce Dern looks like he's in pain. I don't think he's that good of an actor.
Yeah, he was in Beverly Hillbillies. Granny loved that, didn't she? Walks, we can get up here and put this one up.
I heard a piece of trivia. He was also in Star Wars.
What?
John Wayne.
Where?
Yep.
They used his voice for one of the character. I want to say it was the character that very small part that turned in the droids in. I think it was that bar they were in. I don't remember.
it was a
very small part.
Garindon as Zabor.
Yeah, they spit him up saying something, and they used that as the sound for that character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was in A New Hope.
That's
Star
the
Wars
first.
4.
That's the first movie.
Pretty
The
wild,
one-
huh?
Gene, when me and you were 13 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was garbled. It was in a alien voice,
Yeah.
but
They sped it up or slowed it down or did something to it. Yeah, manipulate it. But it was his voice.
hey
Yeah,
guys, I'm going to bail
went and
out.
seen the original Star Wars at the movies. The third one.
Mhm. Return of the Jedi.
Thanks for being here, Andy. We appreciate you.
Good night, Andy.
Well, that's all Han Solo was. Han Solo was John Wayne's. He was playing John Wayne in Star Wars. That's all he was. Or Clint Eastwood one, or a combo.
Yeah, that was cool, Andy, looking up all the movies that John Wayne passed away in. That was pretty cool.
What I hated about San Iwo Jima was he dies at the last second. I mean, you've kind of followed him through the whole movie and then pow, which is unfortunately the way it happens in war. But, stumped. As a kid, it stunk.
Yeah, Cowboys. I didn't like that movie
No.
because he died in it. I'm like, yeah, we can't be having this. John Wayne don't die. And I remember being a little boy when he got sick with cancer, passed away.
I remember the day he died. I remember hearing it. Oddly enough, I remember when John Wayne died. I remember when Elvis died, even though, Elvis was way before my time. And I remember when Bon Scott died, the lead singer from AC/DC. I was driving by that point.
Jamie, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to pull a Mark Thomas on you.
Good thing you're not sitting in my chair.
I know.
Good night.
Good night, Chad.
Everybody.
Go warm up by that wood stove.
Good night, Chad.
Yeah.
All right.
See, Mark, I can't smoke a pipe in the house, so I'm sitting out here on the front porch in the freezing cold. I'm wide awake.
I'll keep you.
Yeah.
I got a heater vent blowing right behind me. It's getting a little heavy at times.
You get a full belly in that heater fan, and that's it, buddy.
Well, Friday's always pizza night, so I had my fill of pizza, and now I got this vent blowing behind me.
My wife's a nurse, so every night's an adventure. I'm the best cook in the house, and but she has to buy the groceries to cook, and I love her to death. Don't get me wrong, I'm not dogging her out, but at the grocery store you got what? You got steaks or roasts, beef, pork chops, chicken, and the fish generally isn't any good, and unless you have a fishmonger, which we do, but that fish is very expensive, and it's a 30-minute drive away. So generally, by about Friday, it's like, what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? I'll eat Oreos. I don't care. Whatever. And anyway, tonight, believe it or not, as redneck as I am, I make quiche. Go ahead and laugh, CW.
I was saying the deal the other night is that marriage is a lifelong commitment of asking what's for dinner.
Amen.
What's for dinner? What do you want to do? Do I look fat in this?
Well, my wife says I'm not house trained, and she tell all her friends, you ought to be married to a Neanderthal. And I can't argue with her. I mean, I truly am. I will sit there and wipe the back of my hand on my nose and grunt at things outside and that I'm interested in. And it's sad, really, that I can interact with the public and actually write and still be that way.
Now, on the other side, I'm quite domesticated. I'm a really good cook. I do my laundry. I clean. I take care of things.
Well, I said I was a Neanderthal. I wash my loincloths. Okay. All right. Come on, man. I sweep occasionally. I do anything to help my wife if she just tell me what to do. But she's like, you're not going to do it right. She won't let me load the dishwasher. She will not let me load the dishwasher. That is forbidden.
I washed the dishes tonight.
My
I'll wash
dishwasher lets me load her.
I'll wash them by hand, but I will not load. But there again, if I cook, I don't wash. I told her, I said that was the rule when we first got married. I said there's 2 rules in this house. If I cook, I don't wash dishes. She said, okay. What's the next one? I said I don't wash dishes, but I will wash them by hand.
That's the only way I wash them.
Me too. So here's another interesting tidbit about Frank Hamer. We talk about his controversial life, and let me see if I can get this right. In 1917, how old would he have been then? 30,
Yeah, thereabouts.
31, 32. Hamer married Gladys Johnson Sims, the widow of Ed Sims of Snyder, Texas. She and her brother, Sidney Arthur Johnson, had been charged in 1916 with murdering Sims. Hamer and Gladys and other family members were stopped at a garage on October 1st, 1917 to get gasoline and Sweetwater when they had suddenly encountered Gus McMeans of Odessa, Ed Sims' brother-in-law, and the Hamers and McMeans got into a pistol battle. The McMeans was a former Texas Ranger and sheriff of Ector County, and he and Hamer were clinched. McMeans died of a shot to the heart, and Hamer was wounded. 10 shots were fired in the gunfight, and police collected a total of 7 revolvers, 2 semi-automatic pistols, and 3 rifles from the 2 parties.
You reckon they were prepared?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Frank Hamer, from what I understand, was a pretty dark guy too. He very dedicated to the job. Kind of saw himself as not above people, but in a different class, not above or below, but kind of as a separate type of human being.
We were talking earlier about his political things. He left the Cattlemen's Association, accepted a federal agent position in the Prohibition Unit. He served there for about 1 year, and he was stationed in El Paso back then. But in 1918, Hamer physically threatened State Representative Jose Tomas Canales, I hope I'm saying that right, who was leading an investigation into Texas Rangers accused of abusing residents of the Rio Grande Valley. Canales reported the threat to the governor, but Hamer was not disciplined. According to a 2019 Washington Post movie review by activist Monica Munoz Martinez, Hamer supposedly stalked Canales in the Capitol, and Samuel Ely Johnson Jr., father of future President Lyndon B. Johnson, was among those who escorted Canales to the early 1919 hearings. So he was not afraid to get roughed up in the see in that story he's accused of persecuting Latin Americans. Then in beginning in 1922, Hamer led the fight in Texas against the Ku Klux Klan as senior captain of the Texas Rangers, which was still growing in Texas, and he saved 15 people from lynch mobs throughout his career.
I was going to bring that up. That was big. That was bad in Texas at that time.
Yeah, that was bad in Texas back then. there was an incident in 1930 called the Sherman riot, and he was trying to. There was a black man accused of rape. His name was George Hughes, and a mob approached the courthouse, and Hamer personally shot and wounded two of the mob's members. But the mob set the courthouse on fire, so Hamer and the Rangers had to run from the building. But they couldn't reach Hughes, who'd been locked in a vault for his safety, and they got into a borrowed car and drove away from Sherman, later regrouping at the sheriff's office. If Hughes had survived the fire, he did not survive the mob afterwards, who used dynamite on the vault. He had been locked in and strung up his dead body. Sherman's Black District was looted by the mob afterwards, with the Rangers unwilling or unable to stop them. So you see two different sides of him as far as race relations are concerned. But one of the reasons he was so, I guess, why he fought for African Americans in Texas so strongly was remember the story we told about when he was 16 years old and the rancher shot him in the back with a shotgun?
Black guy saved him.
They said he would have died, except a black sharecropper saved him, took him home, put him in a barn. So he had an affinity for connection with him. So that's cool stuff. But there's a lot more to Frank Hamer than being the guy that shot Bonnie and Clyde.
Well, Jamie, you'll really enjoy that movie. I mean, I'm serious. It's a well-made movie.
Yeah, it's got them two characters in it, Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. Y'all do know that Woody Harrelson's dad killed John F. Kennedy, right?
What?
Yeah, just ask him. I found out an interesting tidbit tonight. Earlier today, Woody Harrelson's name was Charles Harrelson, and he was a known contract killer for the mob. But the reason he was because he had a bunch of gambling debts. Well, he would take these contracts to pay off his gambling debts. And he spent a lot of time in and out of prison. And, I found it interesting to note his first wife's maiden name was Oswald.
Oh, weird. That's really weird.
That's too weird.
Yeah, that's way weird. You reckon they're ever gonna declassify that stuff?
Probably not in our lifetime.
I know, that's a shame. That's a whole nother subject we could talk about for hours, so I'm not going to get into that.
I got a question about a gun. That gun that the guy used yesterday morning.
Yep.
You can't tell what the news media is trying to say. So what was that?
Well, it looked like, it really looked like a Glock. And this is kind of a side note, Texan, that's sort of funny. So my wife and her coworkers were talking about it, and they said, just ask your husband. So my wife came home. She said, "Was that a professional hit?" And I said, "Not at all. No." I said, "That guy, he's familiar with firearms. He knew how to clear a jam, but obviously he had never shot that particular gun with that particular silencer and that particular ammo." I said, "So he killed the guy, but he had to cycle the gun manually every time." And then we found out later on he left his DNA here and DNA there, and his face is seen, and blah 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 blah. So obviously he's not a pro.
Yeah.
But my wife goes back to work and she said, "My husband said he was definitely not a pro, and he knows the difference." I was like, "Jody, don't be telling people stuff like that." I said, "They're going to think I'm a pro hitman or something." And, but that guy, I mean, yeah, he was successful, but it looked like a Glock to me, but who really knows?
Somebody was saying that it was some rare gun, and there was only a few of them in existence.
No,
we talking
no,
about?
man,
It just looked like a blocky 9mm to me. I mean,
yeah, the guy just didn't have a tune for a suppressor. And
Yeah.
he had not tested out. He just screwed that suppressor on a threaded barrel and tried shooting it. And he was calm about it in the video. I mean,
he cleared a jam. He cleared a jam, no problem.
Tommy boy
he understood what was going on with it. But I seen that piece on the news too, 6, and I was like, I commented on the video on the news, and I said, "You all are idiots."
Yeah.
And I laid it out there in the comment that, man, he just did, he didn't have it tuned in. That's it.
Yeah.
I bought a couple firearms with threaded barrels on them. They come with 2 different recoil springs, one to run a suppressor and one to run without. And
Tommy Boy just posted something about that B and T. That's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
What are y'all talking about? Is there another shooting?
The insurance executive for United Healthcare got assassinated by an unknown guy on the streets of New York going to a 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. corporate meeting. He's walking down the sidewalk, and this guy just comes up behind him and whop, and whop does the coup de grace. And he put, what do he have written on the brass? Deny, degrade, blah, 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 blah. Depose. Yeah. And
out of some book, apparently.
If you're going to commit a crime in New York, that's like going into a bank, with 97 cameras on you. And New York's the most photographed city in the world.
Yeah, I haven't seen. So did they catch the guy?
No, they ain't caught him yet. He got on an e-bike, went down through an alley, got on an e-bike, but he left his backpack in Central Park. He lost him in Central Park, but he drank out of a water bottle at a Starbucks and ate a couple of energy bars, but threw the wrappers in the trash can. So they got his DNA, which doesn't do any good unless they find a person. But he stayed in a hostel for like a week, and they're catching up to him.
I think I got an email that somebody else got another CEO was shot.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it here, but I don't dare click on it because it'll play. But I don't want it to play on it over live.
I hear you. It kind of reminds me of and don't get me wrong, I'm not singing the guy's praises or anything, but it kind of reminds me of Eric Rudolph. He did the Atlanta Olympic bombing, and then disappeared in the North Carolina mountains for a year, 2 years. And they were after him. And of course, he had local help. He had local support. They were people feeding him. And they caught him dumpster diving. But he eluded authorities for a good while.
That's pretty good when you can get by the FBI that long. All right, it's time for our verse of the week. Y'all ready?
You're ready.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Y'all know we've been doing this. It's a matter of faith handout that I've been last couple of weeks, and I remember faith is for forgiveness. We've all sinned and cannot have eternal life in heaven without God's forgiveness. And we used Romans 3:23 and Ephesians 1:7 for that one. The A there stands for A is for available. Forgiveness is available, and we used John 3:16 and Matthew 7:21 for that. Tonight we got I is for impossible. It is impossible for us to get to heaven on our own. And the verse tonight is Ephesians 2:8 and 9. For it is by grace that you have been saved through faith, and this not from yourself. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Okay, so let's break this verse down a little bit. For it is by grace that you have been saved. So grace is God giving us what we don't deserve. Mercy is him not giving us what we do deserve. So we're saved by grace. And that faith is, we're saved through faith. And even that faith is not of ourselves. The big thing here is you do nothing for your salvation. You can't earn it and you don't deserve it, but it's God loves you so much that he gives you what you don't deserve. He loves you so much that he's going to make a way for you to be with him forever. So even that faith that saves us is a gift from God. We cannot have that faith in our own self. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. When we break this down, not by works, to me, we're talking about keeping the 10 Commandments. Jewish people in Jesus' day thought that they had to keep the 10 Commandments, plus a whole list of over 600 things that the Jewish authorities have added to the 10 Commandments. So keeping the 10 Commandments can't save us because we can't keep them. And what that means is not by work. So we're not able to work ourselves into heaven. A lot of people will think that, all I can do is try to do more good in the world than I do bad. And I'll get to heaven. Well, that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says that one of those bad things disqualifies you, except through the blood of Jesus. And the purpose of that is you can't earn your way, so that no one can boast and tell everybody else that, I'm good enough that I can get in. Well, we all need Jesus. And that's the point of this verse. And I also love verse 10 in that. We all stop after verse 9 when we're talking about how to become a Christian, particularly. But if you look up Ephesians 2:10, it'll say that we are his handiwork, or his craftsmanship, his masterpiece, that we can walk in the works that he has designed for us to do in advance. Of course, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have that verse in front of me right now, but that's the verse of the week. Questions or comments? Look at that puppy dog. Thoughts, Hillbilly?
No, I just say I think you covered everything really good on that. I mean, I grace and mercy and stuff that, that just explains it. We are not deserving, and there's nothing we can do. You know, can't. It's an equal playing field between rich and poor. Whatever. There's nothing you can do to earn that. So
For us to be able to keep the 10 Commandments, we've got to know how important it is. Then we have to go back and be born again and know as a baby that we got to keep all these 10 Commandments and the true spirit of the commandment. And that's not possible. So when Jesus tells Nicodemus in the early parts of John chapter 3, you must be born again, that freaked Nicodemus out, but that's kind of what
all
that.
back in the womb.
Yeah, and be born again. Yeah, great stuff, man. Good.
I
stuff.
told a guy one time, I wasn't an innocent man, but this was kind of in my Christian innocence. And just when I was married to my first wife, and she was trying to get me to join this little church and that she'd grown up in my whole life or her whole life. And I found a whole lot of people there that were hypocrites and kind of made me jaded. And one of the deacons was sort of preaching this verse to me. And he kept coming back to him and his works, how much he had done for the community and how much and I looked at him. This made my ex-wife shrivel up like a bean. But I looked at him, I said, well, son, if you're quoting your own works, your eye skating uphill. And that's the truth. If you think everything you do here on earth is going to get you to heaven, it's not everything you do. It's everything here, in your heart, in your chest, in your soul. And he was relying on works to get him to heaven. And he's dead now, so I'm sure he figured that out.
Well, I just hope he figured it out before.
I hope he did too, but I doubt it. He was a little too arrogant. And the arrogance of man is the pride, I think, as they refer to it in the Old Testament.
Yeah, pride's a dangerous thing.
It's a dangerous thing, and you got to swallow a lot of it to surrender yourself. And you're basically laying your head down on a chopping block and going, well, Lord, I trust you. Swing it if you think I'm deserving of it. And I did that, and he never swung it. So I'm a happier man for it, and can honestly deal with a lot of things better than I did in my youth. I try to give people grace. That's really hard, especially let's get back to Frank Amer and John Wayne, especially if you've got that kind of mentality. It's hard to give people grace, especially when they're being goofy and stupid and just human like, but we all fall short. That's the way I look at it.
I think context when we're studying and quoting scripture is an important thing as well.
Yes, sir. It is.
Faith, my dad says faith is not a byproduct of works. On the contrary, it is because of our faith we are compelled to do good works.
Amen.
And faith without works is dead. That is a quote from the Apostle Paul, but in another place, in another in another setting of Scripture, he says that will faith without works save you? And he says yes. So and that is not a contradiction in Scripture. What that is the context is different. It's important that we understand who wrote it and when they wrote it and who did they write it to and what were the issues that that particular church was involved in.
Got too cold, fellas. I'm coming in.
Yeah, I got 26 here in Northwest Georgia.
I don't know what it is, but it feels like 26.
Y'all got some good scriptures going on, boys. John 5:23 and 24. I absolutely love John's gospel. Whoever does not honor the Son does not honor the Father, he and who sent him. Very truly I tell you, whoever hears my word and believes in him who sent me has eternal life and will not be judged, but has crossed over from death to life. All right. Good stuff. Anything else we got to say about Frank Hamer before we get out of here this evening?
I think we covered old Frank pretty good.
Well, I know we didn't do him justice, but let me put this. Let me do this first. Let's do this. Remember, there's the link to Ammo Mark's video, A Brief History of Frank Hamer. That's a 20-minute video.
It's a pretty good one too.
It's a real good one. I like the way he researches and does this. Also, now with Christmas coming up, you need scopes or stuff or optics.
Scopes?
There's our code for Discovery Optics, JH586 MS39. That's good for 10% off anything at the Discovery Optics website. If you go to the Amazon store, their Amazon store, that code is only good for that particular scope, the MS3x9, which is a dang good scope for the money. I like it a lot. And let's see, I got an email from Monstrum. They got a scope. I'm probably going to be ordering that.
Yeah, they had the Hornet on sale.
That's what I'm talking about. It's
119 or something like that.
Yeah,
4
to
16.
4 through 16.
Yeah.
First focal plane.
Yeah,
They
that's
also
what I
have-
got on the Magnum. I did a review on it. It's a nice little smaller power from the 6 to 24. It's about the same size though.
Yeah, that got up to
It might be
24.
shorter. It might be shorter, but it's about the same otherwise.
Looks like really good turrets on that thing. It says got
It's a nice scope. 6 has one. Just I got one. I got 2 of them.
I got 2 of them.
It's a nice scope. Yeah.
Or I got the 24 one.
I got one 24 and 116. Especially for the money. I mean, their entire line for the money is. I mean, I wouldn't go to war with it, in quotes, but for fun stuff and the stuff that we do, fool around at the range and maybe small local hunts and stuff, it's fine. It's just fine.
Yeah, I got my air gun and my 22.
What I really like is Monstrum's open box buys.
Well, they got some good buys, yes, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I'm looking at an 8 to 32.
They got the G3 3 to 18 on sale too. I want to say it's close to half price. I saw, and I picked up one of those a few months back. And that the G3 line across the board is really, really a nice optic. They
Yeah,
changed.
this one's a G3 8 to 32 by 56 first focal plane, and man, the price on it's incredible. And I've already got a couple 24s, and they are fabulous.
They changed the reticle enough that the fact that its first focal plane isn't as big a detractor on the lower powers.
Yeah.
Some of the reticles are such that it's just infinitesimal small, and without some kind of illumination, they're almost useless. And the new G3s are not at all that way.
No, they're not. Not at all.
Not at all that way. You can use and see that reticle on the lowest power.
I did see something I thought was interesting. The 22 conversion kit with the mags that'll go in your AR, which is great for especially if you have younger shooters or beginning shooters. That way they can get the controls of an AR, but you're and just planking, because you're only throwing 22 down range. I had the CMMG, but I did see that PSA had the Colt one that Colt makes, basically the same thing, and it's like 100 donuts off. So, of the original price. So,
CZ, have you ever been to Camerland, New York? That website. Well, he didn't hear me. Anyway,
who you talking to?
I was talking to CZ Jailbird today.
CW? Oh,
yeah, CW. Have you ever been to Camerland, New York?
I've been to the site a few times.
Okay, I've got two of them, and I'm there again. I'm having another brain fart. What's the scope that's Czechoslovakian, a little higher end? Well, some of them are very much high end. They designed the M1 Abrams tank sight.
I should know that.
Yeah, I have two of them, and I can't even think of.
Not Swift, is it?
No. Swifts are made in Korea. These are Czech scopes. They've got shot glass, the higher end ones. But the interesting fact is, Camerland, New York, their dad started the business, and he was selling camera lenses, and then the brothers got involved, and they were selling. No, that's not it, Tommy. They started selling optics for guns, and they would their one brother was the drummer for Whitesnake. If that's not weird, but I thought Gene would find that cool. But they'll go through and get a pallet of scopes, and they might tear a box here and there and offer a damaged in shipping deal, especially this time of year. I haven't been on their site. I just thought about it. If y'all were looking for a little bit higher end, this is definitely higher end, than the Monstrums and this and that. This is, I'd go to war with it. And, but they've got a lot of different brands, but, the particular brand I could run down the gun room and look real quick, but it's just escaping me right now. I'm having a senior moment, but I've got two of them, and the upper end one has shot glass, and they're fantastic. They're fantastic scopes.
I tried to Google it, but I'm not coming up with anything.
All right, that's driving me crazy. I'll be right back.
And Tommy Aldridge was a drummer of Whitesnake for a while. one of the biggest tours. He also played drums in with Ozzy during Randy Rhoads days on tour. He didn't do the studio work, but he did the live on tour work. And Randy Rhoads said he was one of the best drummers he had ever played with because of how heavy he could play.
It came to me when I got to the bottom of the steps. Miapta.
Oh, Miapta, yeah.
Yeah. Their lower end, while I think it has high-end Japanese class, but they'll offer sales that guys like me can't even compete with that are fantastic. So if y'all are in for a higher dollar optic, definitely check them out. They're CameralandNewYork.com.
All right, we got to start going through the room. I have an Athlon Argos over there. I hope it's a good one.
I got one of those. They're good scopes.
Yep.
All right, we got to start going through the room. We'll let Hillbilly Up go first because he needs to go help our buddy. Gives Gary over on the hen show.
There, found my mute button.
I heard Lizard Larry's show is the cat's meow.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me. Always a great way to start off the weekend right here at Georgia Shooting Connection. Always a fun panel, awesome side chat. Oh man. See what I got coming up. We got Guns Bearing Therapy tomorrow night, 9:00 Central, 10:00 Eastern. And then also I put out a video the other day, and so I am accepting some donations if people want to, and it's to get Christmas presents for kids, less fortunate, and so they'll have something open on Christmas. And when you donate for that, we're going to have a giveaway, and it's 15th, I believe, 14th or 15th, next Saturday, I believe. That we'll be doing that giveaway live for those that donate, and we got a lot of great stuff, a lot of great sponsors do some stuff in, for giveaways. So anyway, if anybody wants to help with that, you can go over and check out that video. And anyway, appreciate everything and everybody. Thanks a lot for having me.
Well, thanks for being here, man. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. And you need to send me a text. Remind me to do that.
Okay.
Rebel, what you got coming up this week?
Well, we've had a toy drive as well for some of our mountain communities, that were hit hard by Helene. And, guys are asking themselves, what do you get a kid that ain't got nothing? And I'm like, you get them anything, And we about got the box filled up. Me and Jody are going to top it off with baby dolls and some stuff for boys, and it's brimming over. It's a pretty big box, and I've got a gal that's got a nonprofit that's taking it up there and distributing it accordingly, and I feel very blessed that we were able to do that. And other than that, business is cooking this time of year, and it's over too quick. I think I've bore sighted my 100th scope for this season, and I'll probably do 50 more before it's over with. So leveling crosshairs and get it on target, so rednecks won't miss deer, because some of them think that little red dot that you put in the end of the barrel is that's the latest thing, man. And
they come factory sighted.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've had to correct several more people this year, but interesting to mark, my local leather maker just had a total knee replacement, and he came limping in with a cane today, and he had some holsters. He said, this might fit your new Vaquero. And anyway, we worked out something, and he gave me some to sell, and he said, just dip it in water till the bubbles stop, stick your gun in there, and put it in on your dashboard. He said it'll mold. I was like, yes, sir. And it's already molding pretty good. So it's a little quick draw deal, but nothing real protective. But pretty neat stuff. But blessed to be here. Good to see you guys, and see you next week.
Very cool. Mark Thomas, what you got coming up? You teaching next week?
I had to get my mute button. Yeah, we're teaching all next week and all the following week, so it's going to be a little bit busy. I don't have too much else planned other than watching wrestling when I can, and maybe trying to catch up on leather work and reloading when I can. But we get a nice long break, being that Christmas and New Year falling in the middle of the week, so we've got two full weekends and the week in between, a couple of days. So hopefully I'll get some stuff done then. Just been a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Great evening.
Well, thanks for joining us, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hot Pot. What are you doing this week?
Well, yeah, first, thanks for having me too. I appreciate every Friday night I get to be on here. It's always a great time, always good side chat, babbling on over there like a bunch of old hens. Sorry. Nah, love everybody on here, man. Let's see, this weekend, range time. Just range time. Going pew-pewing. Got some stuff loaded up. Got some videos coming out. As soon as everything is in for my Black Friday credit card maxing spending spree.
You're going to be in timeout, mister.
I am. I'll get a video up on all that. I just want to wish everybody oh, man. Wish everybody a blessed weekend. And, man, you know, it's only once around the ride. So always remember to keep blowing that smoke.
Very good. Six, what you got?
Thanks for letting me be on here again tonight, first of all. So, not much. It's supposed to rain all weekend here, so going to either do some reloading or there's a gun show, so I may go to that. So
That's always fun on a cold, rainy day.
it's way across town, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It's over in Humble, Texas. You got to say it right, Humble. That's where Exxon began. That and go to work and trying to get some jobs out before Christmas break. So that's about all I got.
Good luck, man.
How's that scope working? The pistol scope.
The BSA?
Yeah.
It's okay for that 22. It's not that bad.
I got to tell you, man, excellent work on those molds. Very good.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Very good.
If you haven't watched it, Walter and I both have videos on that mold that we're talking about, and they're just a work of art. Really, 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 really nice for a really good person.
Walter was casting with his today, and Uncle Jim posted a video last night of him doing his. I don't know if y'all seen it, but I sent him 2 different molds.
Yeah. I saw that. Very good work. I think I commented on all of those. Anyway, what's the jailbird got coming up this week?
Nothing. Not a darn thing. And not by my choice. I had videos posted through the first of the year. You all are the ones that pay the price.
So
you can go over to Rumble and watch them.
What did you get thrown in jail for, CW? You never said.
When the Gen 2 Ruger came out,
Yeah.
I made a video with the Gen 1 on the bench talking about all the changes that they made.
Yeah.
I offended somebody.
You're just an awful man.
I'm a bad man.
Yeah.
And it's a very old video. It's been up for almost 2 years.
Yeah. We get pinged for Facebook stuff like that all the time.
Ridiculous.
At Bullseye. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. For all you football fans out there, before we say goodnight and hang up the phone, in the American Athletic Conference, Army is ahead of Tulane 28-7 halfway through the third quarter. And Boise State is, I think that's the Mountain West Conference. They're up, I think it was 21-0. And I forget who they're playing. But, yeah, big weekend for college football. Anything else you want to say, CW?
Check us out on Rumble.
Always, guys. Always. Most of CW and Walter both put all of their stuff, and Six does as well. So does, I think, G23 does. I know
Chris from the 740 regular, Jesse B regular.
Jesse B Outdoors is one of them.
Regular.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Mark put his up there too, don't you, Mark?
A few.
UNLV, so Boise State's playing. So anyway, I guess with that, we'll just tell y'all good night. I'm thanking, thank all you guys on the panel for helping me. Thank all you guys on the side chat for coming to join us. And Christmas time's coming. Make your list. Check it twice.
Ding ding-a-ling, ding ding-a-ling, ding ding-a-ling.
There you go. All right. Go Dogs. As GGW says, my dogs play for the Southeast Conference Championship tomorrow against those Texas Longhorns. Six will be pulling for Texas. I'll be pulling for Georgia. And
Go Ohio State.
Oh Lord.
Didn't come out of my mouth.
Hi, I'm from Ohio. Yeah.
Hey, that's OH10.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The only state that has 4 letters and takes 2 people to say it.
That's right.
All right, guys, we got to clear the deck for Gizzard Gary. Thank y'all for watching and spending some of your weekend with us. We hope y'all have a great weekend. We hope the Lord blesses y'all real good. And if he's willing, we'll see y'all